Namaste, beautiful coven. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany. I am the Yogi Witch, and Happy New Year. Over the past couple of days, I've had a lot of messages from people, both about my memberships and about my studio, discussing with me how to start a yoga practice and how to start a yoga practice that you'll actually stick with. So I felt inspired to kind of hop on here today and go through 5 ways that you can kind of stick to a yoga practice. You can bring it into your daily life and you can make one that will last a lifetime. So yoga has existed as a journey for both the mind and the body between 5 and 10,000 years. And there is a reason why this beautiful practice lives on and is kind of a practice that you stick to for life. While there is lots to discover and learn and explore in the tradition of yoga, the one thing about it is that it is such a unique journey for everyone, and yoga always delivers to you what you need, whether that's an exercise for the mind, an exercise for the body, a sense of empowerment, a sense of relaxation. It always has something that you need. That is why it is such a damn magical practice. So this is going to be a short, quick little video going through 5 ways that you can make a yoga practice that you will actually stick to. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get yourself comfortable, and let's go through them. Okay, the first one is commitment and consistency. So if you're like me, you're going to set off the new year by kind of creating unattainable goals, i.e. doing yoga 7 days a week for 1 hour in the morning at sunrise. Now, this is a very positive way and joyful way to start the new year, but it really isn't attainable, and it is just kind of not the reality of a yoga journey. Some teachers will preach to you that to be a true yogi, you've got to do yoga every day, you've got to do it for a minimum of 1 hour, and I'm coming here to tell you that that is complete and utter nonsense. There are very few humans in this world that have a routine that allow them to do 7 days a week of yoga for hours on end. Yoga should be something that can fit into your life quite easily, whether that be a 1 hour class every Monday morning or a 20-minute yoga flow before you go to bed. It should be something that can slot in easily into your routine. The minute that yoga becomes pressure and it becomes too much and causes stress, then you've missed the point of yoga. I really stress this to all my students, and I've stressed it to myself many times, that yoga should be enjoyable. Yes, it's difficult to bring ourselves to the mat, but try and find a day or a time that really suits you. So if it's that 1 hour on a Monday morning or that 20 minutes before bed, whatever it is, something that suits you and it suits your daily routine. If you are working 8 hours a day, you're picking up kids from school, you're cooking dinner, you're cleaning the house, you've got hobbies, you've got friendships, you've got commitments, then you're never going to be able to keep up with 7 days worth of yoga, and then the minute you get off track, you kind of abandon it. So start off with consistency, start off with commitment. 1 class a week, whether that be a 10-minute class or a 1 hour class. Just commit to 1 a week for a few weeks and see how you feel. I began doing 1 class every 2 weeks with my mum, then we went to every week, then we went to 2 classes a week, and then I ended up doing 5 classes a week during my teacher training. So take away the pressure, enjoy the process, and commit to 1 class a week. As I mentioned earlier, yoga is incredibly old, unless there are so many different forms of it. There's hatha, there's vinyasa, power, restorative, yin, so many different variations. And if you go into it trying to do everyone, it can kind of become a little bit overwhelming. Now, the reality of yoga, both on the mat and off the mat, is that it is a very unique journey. Not everybody's going to love power, not everyone's going to love restorative. So the best way to do this is to find one that you really, really enjoy and that really resonates with you. For me, when I first began, it was a vinyasa yoga flow, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It allowed me to lose myself into my mind. And once I committed to that for a few weeks, a few months, then I started to explore different variations, dropping and picking those which resonated with me. Now, a crucial thing I learned in my journey as both a teacher and a student is that not every class is going to be your class, not every teacher is going to be your teacher. If you go to a class and it makes you feel really bad about yourself, or you just feel a little bit down, then maybe it's not the class for you. Perhaps it's something the teacher did, or the style, or it just wasn't for you, and that is okay. It's kind of like a witchcraft practice. You can pick and choose what it is that you like. Now, once you find a form of yoga that really resonates with you, that brings you a lot of joy, then remember that you have full control of what you do in this yoga class. If you want to do the whole thing, you do the whole thing. If you want to stay in child's pose for an hour, stay in the damn child's pose. This is your practice. A good teacher will accept this and will allow you to do what you want in yoga class, as long as it's not causing any danger or harm to you or to others or disturbing anyone. They will allow you to stay in that child's pose because that is what you need at the moment. If someone tells you not to stay in that child's pose, walk out. No. If someone tells you not to stay in that child's pose, then don't listen to them. It is your practice. And once you understand this, then yoga becomes a lot more enjoyable and you kind of let go of any expectations that you have. Now, this brings it on to number 3 on the ways that you can stick to a yoga practice for life. And that is letting go of the ego. Now, walking into a yoga studio can be pretty intimidating, whether it's your first time or 100th time. If you're walking into a super busy class, perhaps with very advanced students doing handstands when you walk in, then it can be quite nerve-wracking, and I completely understand that. This is the ego. Now, this ego is the king of negative talk, of insecurity, of putting that kind of dampener on something that should be joyful. Now, yoga is a practice that is designed to break apart this ego. Working with breath, with movement, with intention is an unstoppable force. It's an epic force, it's a magical force, and that breaks apart the ego and allows us to train ourselves to exist only into the present moment, the space where true happiness exists, focusing only on our personal journey. Now, one of the best advice I was ever given by my yoga teacher was to only gaze forwards, metaphorically, gaze forwards, never looking left or right behind us, not focusing on what anyone else is doing, simply focusing on our own practice. Now, the yoga journey is intended to be a very personal and unique journey. Despite the fact that we are doing it often in a communal setting, it is an independent journey that only you can witness and only you can experience. It's like your own personal dose of magic. So when we're taking our gaze to what someone else is doing, we start to lose the magic in our own practice. It's kind of that idea, you know, when you're watching someone else water your garden, you allow yours to go dry. And although this is hard sometimes to manage or to get a hold of, it's something that I have to work on continuously in my journey. When you do, it is breathtaking. When you're able to let go of the ego, that sense of competition or insecurity, you should be able to happily stay in Shavasana or child's pose for 1 hour and allow the person next to you to do pincha or handstands or headstands, all that kind of jazz, and smile at them, congratulate them on their progress, and stay in your pose. That is the magic of yoga and the magic of letting go of the ego. So, number 3 for a successful and long-lasting yoga practice is to work on releasing the ego. Number 4, coming to the mat with intention. Now, the world of social media is a tricky little world. It is not a very nice world, I'm going to admit. And yoga has become very distorted over the years with the kind of advancement of social media. Often when we think of yoga, we think of very skinny women in leotards or bikinis doing a back bend or a handstand, and that is very much the reality of social media yoga. But this is not the true reality of yoga. So yoga doesn't depend on how you look, what you're wearing, or the poses. It is all about intention. Now, if you are a practicing witch or pagan or anything like that, you know the importance of intention. Intention is key to everything. It is what helps us manifest, it's what helps our spell work come to fruition, and it's what helps us find gratitude in the everyday. So if you're coming to the mat with egotistical reasons, i.e. competition, or perhaps very materialistic reasons, i.e. wanting to look a certain way, then your yoga practice becomes disorientated and distorted. Maybe many people come to the mat with these reasons of wanting to lose weight, want to look a certain way, wanted to compete with, I don't know, their sister or their mum or friend or whatever. But often when they truly allow themselves to get lost in the practice, these kind of intentions fade away and you start to come to the mat with your pure and authentic intention. Now, if you can nail this straight away, your yoga journey is going to be a lot more enjoyable from the get-go. So, starting off with a small sense of gratitude. So find gratitude for the fact that you come to the mat. Even if you stay in Shavasana for the entire hour, find gratitude for the fact that your mind took you here and you had the strength to come here. The minute you work with an intention, that's when you'll start to find your magic in your movement and in your breath work, and the magic in kind of that collective community you find on the yoga mat. So number 4, super simple spell work, but super soulful and very, very important to our yoga journey, is to come to the mat with intention. Number 5, the final point in creating a long-lasting yoga practice is to trust the process. As I said, yoga journey, despite being a very community-based and communal practice, is an independent journey. Only you can witness and experience the magic of your movement. Now, with yoga, there's always a new pose to learn, a new sequence to learn, a new style to explore, a teacher to experience. And this is the beauty of yoga, is that it's a never-ending journey. If you come to the mat with a goal in sight, then that goal is always going to move, and that is okay. Trust the process of a yoga journey. Sometimes you might fly in a pose, sometimes you might fall on your face, sometimes you might really tune out, sometimes you're thinking of a grocery list. And that is okay. Every time we step onto the mat, it's a brand new experience. No yoga practice is the same as another. Even if you did the same flow every single day for 6 months, it would be completely different every time you come to the mat, because your mind is completely different every time you come to the mat. And when you embrace this sense of the unknown, and when you trust and have faith in the journey, then you can really bask in it and get lost every time you move, every time you breathe, every time you laugh when you fall. Now, this one, I really, really encourage you to embrace this trusting the process, because when you do, you will find that magic when you step on the mat, and you will just feel love for yourselves, for those beside you, and for the magic of your journey, both on the mat and off the mat. So number 5, the most important of them all, trust the journey. Thank you so much, gorgeous Coven, for tuning into today's video. If you're still listening, thank you so much. I really hope that these 5 little short points help you navigate the world of yoga and help you kind of create a joyful, a happy, and a content yoga practice that you can stick to for life. If you have any more questions about yoga journey, perhaps where your mindset is at the moment, or anything witchy, anything at all really, you can drop me a message down below in the comments, or send me a message over on my Instagram at The Yogi Witch. My New Year's resolution is to bring a lot more vlogs and a lot more chatting to this channel, as I really enjoy being allowed to waffle on for hours on end. It brings me a lot of joy because no one else listens to me. So make sure you subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all brand new vlogs, all brand new flows, etc, etc. But thanking you so much for joining me here today. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you on the mat soon.